Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is June 24th, 2022, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. markets continue to rebound after being clobbered for the past 3 weeks. Now looking at the major economic events of the day, nothing really big scheduled. So we are summer trading, and that means lighter volume and less volatility. And that is exactly what's happening. Looking at the Forex markets, majors are really unchanged. Looking at the indices, just this rebound that we see in the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ just mildly. Looking at commodities, gold and oil pretty much unchanged as well. Looking at the stocks, Microsoft has been pretty strong while Facebook has been weak. So we're seeing a delineation there. We're going to take a look at it. And lastly, Bitcoin unchanged as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. The Forex symbols are up mildly versus the US dollar. I mean, we've kind of came back from the dead here from 104.96 up to 105.45. Looking at 1 hour chart, I mean, it's been really very tight and very spotty. At the bottom of the range, I guess you could look at it. That's the bottom of the range, 104-ish level, and then the top of the range, 106-ish level. That's a decent area for us to be in terms of our latitude, in terms of any possible way to kind of like squeeze some money out of the markets, but it's very choppy and hard to decipher at these ranges. Okay, I mean, anything above 105.80-ish level, I would say is a short. Anything below 105-ish level, I would say is a buy. But right now, we're just trading sideways. Looking at the GBP USD, same story. I mean, this is a daily chart, so you can see how much more so we're consolidating in a tight range at this level. Looking at the Australian dollar, same story. So that seems to be the general situation right now. It's also because it's summer trading and we are lighter than expected in terms of that. Now looking at gold, really unchanged, 1826. It's within that really tight range as well, and not doing much this week. I mean, last week we had this 1871 all the way down to 1800, and then that was a decent enough move to make some money on it. But right now we're consolidating the middle level. Now looking at crude oil, we did dip to 102 this morning, but we are bouncing off of it to 105. Now what's interesting about oil is that $100 is a major number for it. So just be aware, if it does breach that $100, that's going to be a decisive force. Now looking at the Dow Jones, trading right now at 30,800-ish level, a big comeback. Even though it's on lighter volume, but it is a comeback. It's about 1,000 points from our 29,000 level. We'd like to see it come back to somewhere about the 31,500-ish level. That's where I would start. It would be starting to get a little bit interesting. But remember, it's trading below our 200-day moving average on a daily chart. Okay, so that's really important, and that's where I would put my next real resistance, anywhere between 30. I mean, if it gets to 32, I don't think it will. I think it'll get to 31-ish. 800-ish level, maybe 700-ish level at the top of that range. Now looking at the NASDAQ, it also bounced, but not as aggressive. Look at that. It's really very mild bounce there altogether versus the what the Dow Jones did. Now if we look at the individual stocks, Apple did gain to 138. So did Microsoft nicely. Okay, so they're trading in tandem. But if we look at Facebook, not really. I mean, Facebook is in its pits at 158. Let's look at a 4-hour chart on the bottom of its lows. Okay, and that's not encouraging. I got to be honest with you. For where we are, this is as low as we got in 2020 as the pandemic started. That massive initial sell-off and then that buying spurge. So if we break 148, that's historic. Okay, that's going to mean that we're going to make some major changes when it comes to Facebook. Now lastly, looking at Bitcoin, also just hanging out here. You can't see it so well. I have these Fibonacci retracements in yellow, so they're quite mild, but they're right there. Okay, we are bouncing off of a potential support level, which is at 20K, and that's exactly where we are. However, we're not really bouncing. So if it does breach this, okay, and it breaks 20 and it stays below 20, then we could possibly go down to the low teens, very low teens, maybe even go back to $5,000. Okay, so keep that in mind as this unfolds. This is Fred Razak. Looking forward to seeing you in South Africa next week on June 30th, at the Da Vinci Hotel at 6 p.m. at night. It's you can reserve your spots using at our website. God bless. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.